Race car spelled backwards is still race car. This is the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brad, and with me, as always, is Jamie, and this is the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast. Coming off a hot week at Sonoma, Jamie. What'd you think?
Weehaw, amigo!
Is that your best?
That's my
Spanish
best
accent?
Spanish Mexican accent.
Yeehaw, amigo.
Well, that's kind of Tex-Mex close, right?
Well, we had 6 passes all day for the lead, 4 cautions, which I don't know that you necessarily call them cautions, but we had 4 of them anyway. As of, I just checked it, it was like 12,000 votes on the Jeff Gluck poll. It is still at 64 yes, 36 no.
That's about right.
I voted no, personally.
I voted yes, but the reason I voted yes, it was just for the storyline of our amigo winning. We've been saying he's going to win this year. He finally did.
Yeah, it was a great storyline. I mean, I put in my notes, bad race, great story. I mean, it really is a great storyline. But
I would have rated it a 6.5 out of 10 if I was going to put a rating on it. So I think the poll's dead on.
I'd have gave it a 3 out of 10.
Wow.
I don't know if I'm a road course fan, to be honest with you. I enjoyed road course racing in the old car because the old cars were not made for a road course. So every lap was like holding onto your seat, trying not to wreck your car that's made to go around an oval, make it go around a left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left turn track.
Well, based on the crowd in the stands.
Other people feel the same way.
Yeah, they're like, eh. I mean, the Amigos were there. That's probably the largest group in the stands.
Yeah.
Or was that all Fox was showing us? I don't know. One or the other.
I don't know. Fox did spend a lot of time. Well, it's like once a lap. It's a 2-minute lap roughly. So
1 minute out of every 2, we saw the Amigos.
Yeah, and it was the same 14.
Do you think it was the same video footage? They just backed it up and started over?
That would be easier just to replay the same screenshot.
I'm so glad they're done.
It's probably a GIF.
They mailed it in this year. I'm sorry. They just mailed it in.
Oh, no doubt.
What about Clint just disappearing?
Dude, I don't know.
I looked at his Twitter feed.
I did too. He hasn't tweeted in 6 days.
Yeah, what's
7
going
days
on,
now.
Man?
Something's up. So
is he going to drive for Junior Motorsports?
So Dale Jr. next year apparently is going to the Cup Series with, who did we determine? Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr. is a part-time engineer, operations manager.
Vice President Racing, and now Clint.
What's he going to do?
Competition manager.
Competition announcer?
Actually, I think he'd be great on the download.
He'll just work over the loudspeaker.
So
maybe that's it. Maybe he wasn't on the broadcast because NBC and Dirty Mo Media have bought him out of his contract to hire him to work as a news reporter on the download.
What do you think he gets per episode?
5-day content. 5 days a week he'll have new content on the Dirty Mo Media platform.
I've listened to his podcast. He's funny as all get out.
Clint?
Yeah.
Dude, he's hilarious. I'm not a huge Clint fan in the booth, but outside the booth, I love him. He's hilarious.
I think the Mack brothers make him better, though. I think Larry Mack makes him better, and Jamie Mack makes him better, and it's doable with Mike Joy. But Mike Joy seems to get confused on who's driving what car or mixing names. I'm wondering if Mike Joy might have need to disappear from the booth.
Well, I think with the whole Clint thing making him better, I think the booth just does better, period, with 3 people. So we have made comments through, this is episode 19. So through the last 19 episodes.
Yeah, that's what the board says, 19.
That's why I leave it up there.
We've almost done this for half a year in 5 more weeks.
Feels like it.
6, 7.
I think we're right at like 499 total listens or something.
I stayed up for the whole 24 hours of Le Mans.
I didn't.
I have English issues today. I can't do the English for that.
You can't read that number?
26 would be halfway, wouldn't it, for a whole year? 52 weeks in a year?
Oh, man, I
don't know.
You're breaking the pronouns out over here. Let's slow down there.
That's some rough English there.
That's the worst kind of English. We'll be doing Shakespearean stuff next with math. All right, well, we're talking about the Dale Jr. download. Did you finish it yet? The Jeremy Mayfield Part 2 segment?
I did. Part 2 was
very disappointing.
yeah. I thought they kind of left us on a cliffhanger, and then I got to it, and I was like, eh.
I was really thinking that part two was gonna be probably not as good as part one.
I thought we'd have some questions answered that I formulated from episode 1.
I mean, we had a 10-minute conspiracy theory created from
Mayfield
and Brian France. It led to Dale Jr. starting a cup team.
Did you hear that Dale and Mike, though, they started...
I think he's full of crap.
Well, they kind of, I forget what you call it, pre-interview. Of course, they just did their recording afterwards when they introduced the second episode. It was one whole recording, you know that. But they kind of prefaced that they weren't journalists. So it wasn't their fault that it sucked. Well, is that what they were saying?
I don't think that it sucked. I think what it did was it pointed out. So after part one, I was a believer. Not completely, but I was.
I agree with
I was
Mike.
on the fence. I was on the fence after episode 1. Part 2, I go back and go, Mayfield's full of crap. There's too many gaps in his story that I didn't catch the first time around, but they were really pointed out the second time around. Like, it's still his justification for waiting 7 hours to go take a drug test they gave him 2 hours to take. It makes no sense.
I think you and I could find a drug test center.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't justify it enough for me to believe it. So
in the police raid.
Yeah, there's more to it.
There's something going on here.
The long arm of NASCAR is far-reaching. I do believe that. So,
do you get a search warrant with no evidence, though?
Yeah, I think they could. I mean, why not? It is. We're talking about a billion-dollar organization. I mean, they couldn't buy off a few local North Carolina troopers. But did they? That's the
my feeling is
why though? Why?
My feeling is, all right, we bring in Brian France, who, based on his arrest, we know have a drug issue and a drinking problem.
Yeah, and who says he
obvious.
Did? Okay, so that was 8 years later.
But there's no telling whether he had that problem before because he wasn't arrested. But it brings up suspicion.
No doubt. No doubt.
So, but
Dr. Black brings up a lot of suspicion.
Jeremy Mayfield, nothing's his fault.
That's what I mean.
Except he was an asshole.
He took no blame for anything, really. I think I would have felt better if he would have said, I've done meth. Maybe admit to it, comp to it. I mean, or maybe
I cooked meth with my Benadryl.
But then again, what?
It doesn't matter now whether he did meth or not.
No doubt. Adderall shows up as an amphetamine, I guess, on a drug test. There's no doubt about that. So, I'm not arguing that. Why does he point out Claritin D, though? It's like, I was taking Adderall. But wait, guys. Don't interrupt me. I'm also taking Claritin D. And then he goes, it's like...
Isn't it the same stuff? Don't they make meth out of it? Because you've got to go... They keep that behind the counter now. It used to be out, and I don't know if it's Claritin D.
Well, there's
something they keep behind the counter now based on
something
you can make meth out of it.
Something amphetamine.
If you're already on Adderall and you're doing the Benadryl, or what did he say?
Claritin D.
Claritin D.
The Carl Edwards stuff, or was that Allegra?
I don't remember.
One of the two.
He was still missing. So where's Carl?
He was taking a decongestant.
Was Carl about this? Because is Carl gone? Where did he go? Was he a part of this?
Carl was the quiet guy who failed his drug test.
I don't think Carl ever did drugs. He's too white bread.
Yeah, he's like Opie Taylor.
Yeah, his wife says, "You want some red wine with this spaghetti?" And he goes, "Oh no, I don't know if I can handle a full glass." I mean, Carl wrapped himself in America. He's about as American as you can be. Midwest American. So, no, I don't think Carl is involved with this conspiracy. Well, maybe, though. Did Carl need some used copper?
Used copper. That's the other. That was the other. They raided his house looking for a 12 by 12 sheet of scrap metal, not copper. It was scrap metal, a 12 by 12 sheet of scrap metal. He had the SWAT team, the FBI, the CIA, whoever else.
Why didn't he tell them?
Why? It was scrap metal, though. Like,
Why didn't he
Did you
look?
steal this from a crackhead down by the scrapyard? I mean, how do
They
you end
have
up
a
with scrap
warrant.
metal?
When they asked him to open his safe, why didn't he say it's not on the warrant and call his lawyer?
I don't know. Can you do that? If it's not on the warrant?
Well, why can't you?
But it's in the house, so if they had a warrant to search the house, wouldn't that cover
Doesn't
it?
the warrant, and I'm not a lawyer.
I'm not either, so.
I don't even play one on TV.
Yeah, I didn't even watch one on YouTube.
I've never even pretended to be a lawyer.
I don't even know a lawyer. Beat that.
I have watched lawyers on TV. But I think it has to specify what they're searching for.
Yeah, I'm sure, but if it's okay, this is a rabbit hole we go down.
Was
all day,
the plate
neither
going
one
to
of
fit
us-
in? We don't know how big the safe is either, because he wasn't.
Exactly.
Just like our hotel
So,
reviews.
that's
He
the
didn't give
thing.
us enough damn info.
The safe probably isn't going to hold a 12 by 12 sheet of scrap. It's just, of all stolen things you can be looking for, you're looking for scrap metal.
What is the? I mean,
It's
and
like
he didn't even say what it was. Was it a manhole cover? They
No,
stole
it's
from
a
the city.
12 by 12 sheet of scrap metal, like 12 foot by 12 foot sheet of scrap metal.
But was there any special markings on it so you could know that was the piece?
Yeah, it was red, octagon shaped. It said stop on the front.
So now he works for NSA.
So you know he didn't steal it, though. Have you ever tried to steal a stop sign?
No.
Me neither.
I thought it looked cool when I see someone.
Well,
with
those
it.
posts are like 15 foot long. So
I hit one in a car accident once.
Did you
Yeah.
tear up your car?
It tore up the car. I got T-boned by someone else who ran a stop sign. And
Well.
it spun me into it, so I think he had to pay for it. Do you
What?
think he got it when he paid for it? Boy, we've gone way down this rabbit hole.
Let's get back on.
Let's get back to
So they announced this weekend,
boring race.
NASCAR announced this weekend the Clash will return to the LA Coliseum in 2023 for the season opening exhibition race.
why don't they take it on the road?
I'm all right with them going back to the Clash here.
I'm
again.
okay with it, but
Why not?
why can't we have it?
Well, we have Atlanta Motor Speedway.
We can do it in the Mercedes Dome.
I think that'd be too small. It'd be like an eighth of a mile. It would just be a straight. We should do it in one of those domes, like the Dome of Death, where they put the motorcycle riders.
Why not take it
A
to Bowman,
bigger version.
Bowman Gray?
Because it can't hold enough people. Your seating capacity. This is an exhibition.
Making TV
No,
money.
This is an exhibition race. You take it to a market where where there's no fans. You bring new fans in, a shorter style race. I'm not a fan of the Bowman Gray or whatever, North Wilkesboro or any of that.
So why not
Take
Chicago,
it. Yeah,
where the Bears play? It's too cold.
too dangerous. You seen
It's
the?
too cold, too. The shooters.
Yeah,
there?
he gets shot up.
Yeah, I do.
First NASCAR race.
We wouldn't
with a
want to
drive-by
leave
shooting.
3 drivers because they got shot in a drive-by walking out of their hotel.
But I'm okay with it. I love the fact we're going back to LA. Let's give it 2 years, see how it goes. And then we take it on the road. So one thing I did think was cool, though, because they did tear up the track after the Coliseum, 100% of the asphalt they tore up went back into the LA or to the California
To the
road
homeless
system.
tents.
To the road system.
Make them a skate park for the
Well, I
homeless
think-
people.
They used it to put pads down for the homeless, yeah.
Okay. Well,
So their tents aren't on the ground now. They're on asphalt pads that got rubber on them.
so they're like, if it rains once out of the year, they don't get flooded.
Did the drivers sign the pads?
Did Brian Frentz come up with that idea?
So there's
Or
drugs
was it
in
Kennedy?
the pad.
Kennedy's in charge of that. Do you think he talks to Uncle Brian?
Oh, I'm sure. Hey, going back to the Dale Jr. download, here's another note I had. Dale Jr. basically calling Ross Chastain full of shit for saying
Apologizing?
that. Yeah, he's like, it was
Well,
just
yeah.
half-hearted. It was exactly what
He
we
didn't
were
mean it.
saying. We were saying it Monday, too. I mean, Ross drives like that every week, so
And he's done it through every series, so it's not a shocker.
he did it in the truck race.
Uh-huh.
He was driving. I mean, John Hunter Nemechek. I think to Ross's advantage, the TV booth didn't pick up on it because I don't think Ross can handle a whole lot more bad publicity before the fans start saying this ain't cool, Ross.
But his sponsor's a hospital, Advent Health, a chain of hospitals.
Well, that's good.
They're going to get the money no matter what when we get sick in Florida.
What do you mean, Florida?
Isn't that where they're headquartered?
Is it?
I thought I saw when we went to Daytona an Advent Health Hospital, like 2 exits, maybe 1 exit north of there. I assume that's why it was called the Advent Healthcare Center.
I just thought it was funny that Dale Jr. was calling Ross out for basically the same thing that we had said.
You think he listens to us?
Probably.
Nah.
Well, I think
We're lower than a flea on his dog's pimple on his butthole.
Denny probably listens. So now that you and Denny are such good
We're
friends.
buddies. I like Denny.
So he listened. He probably called Dale and said, hey, these guys are talking about you on their show.
It's pretty funny.
So after this weekend, Hendrick didn't have a really strong showing. I mean, yeah, Larson and Elliott led some laps, but they couldn't close the deal very well. But after this
They
weekend,
kind of petered out there in the half of that race.
well, now after this weekend, Rick Hendrick has officially, or not Rick, but Hendrick Motorsports has officially led over 100,000 miles worth of laps in the Cup Series. I don't know.
For the year?
No, forever. I don't think they even run 100,000 miles in a year.
How much do you think his drivers get paid back per mile?
You think
What did we get? 56 cents?
something? It
And
just
they're-
went up,
Kicking it up to 64 and a half or something?
something like that.
I wonder.
All right, man. 12 weeks in, or we're 11 weeks in. I got 11 races to go. We got 12 of the playoff spots are already filled. What do you think? We got 5 more wild card races coming
I
up.
think we're overdoing it with the road courses, dude.
Do you think we have more than 16 winners?
No.
There's 4 spots left.
Here's what I'm thinking.
You got Road America,
I'm gonna make
Atlanta Motor Speedway, Indy, Watkins Glen, and Daytona. You got 2 super speedways and 3 road courses. You don't think we could have 4 different winners in the next 11 races?
No.
Okay.
I think the ones that have won now
We're gonna
are
start.
the ones that are going to keep winning. With the exception, I'm saying there's going to be one more winner that hasn't won yet. One more.
You know who that is?
Harvick.
What about Tyler?
Nope.
You don't think Reddick will win?
Nope.
I don't either.
I think after Bristol, he lost his luck.
Austin. I think Austin
Austin
Dillon.
Dillon could do it.
Well, you got Atlanta and Daytona, so Austin Dillon could
Got
pull
one
one
more
in there.
Talladega. Well, that's in the playoffs, so it doesn't matter.
You got you got 3 road courses left. The way Chris Buescher ran yesterday, finished in second. So Michael McDowell finished third. It's very conceivable that go to Road America or Watkins Glen. One of those 2 guys can win. Then you got Christopher Bell. He's shown he can win on a Roval style track. So we got Indy road course. That's, I don't know, that's more like a straight up road course than it is a Roval. But
So, I didn't take my melatonin last night.
you still haven't been asleep?
No, I was up thinking about how to improve the playoffs. And then I realized I didn't take my melatonin. So I went and took some melatonin, lay back down, and this thought hit me just before I fell asleep. Why can't we have a winner bump out one of the 16 in the first phase of this? Like if he's a non-winner and he's in the chase,
Yeah, well, that defeats.
and there is
Then
some
you're-
people that have not won in the chase,
Then you're taking it down to a 3-race decision and not.
but they won. And
You-
let's say Harvick gets in
You
without
got
any
26 races to get
wins.
into
Think
the
about
playoff.
it, dude. Think about
If you
it.
can't get in within the first
Don't get all
26,
whacked out, dude.
but if you can't get in the first 26, we're going to give you 3 bonus rounds
Well, let's
to jump
say
in.
someone points in
Well, you-
without winning.
You already have
The
4 that
very
disappear.
next race, Cody Ware wins. Bam! Bump Harvick out, throw Cody Ware in there. Because he's a winner. Winning should be everything. We ought to give that one little wild card bump.
No.
I think so.
Yes.
Brian France, are you listening to me?
Oh, Brian France would definitely go for it, but
Brian!
you're going to have to be all Jeremy Mayfielded out to think that's a good idea.
Well, if I got some good stuff, do you think Brian would share it?
I bet you Jeremy Mayfield give you a 12x12 piece of scrap metal for it.
Well, next time we're in Charlotte, he might be hanging out that naked boys club.
The homeless
Homeless boys
gentlemen's club.
Yeah, next to the hotel.
So here's something I thought was pretty cool. I don't actually have no idea where I read this at this morning, but it says comparing the first 15 races of this season to the first 15 races of last season, cautions are up by 72.7% this season over last season. 6 of the winners this season so far have won the race without making a green flag pit stop. Everything's been under caution.
Well, maybe we should do the segments under green. Oh, you won. You have won.
I won?
Oh, just, first stage.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think we should just not go to caution if there's no caution at the first stage? Just keep running. It's your choice.
For road courses or everything?
Everything.
No, I do like having the stage breaks, but I don't like having at the road courses. So, why do you think cautions are up though? New car?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the one nut, they haven't figured it out yet. I mean, Larson lost a wheel. All the other racing series have one nut. I've got one nut. So, I mean, how come they can't figure out what to do with their one nut?
You can't keep that wheel on with just one nut?
No.
I don't know, man. I wasn't impressed this weekend whatsoever. I don't know that if we've just built this car so road course friendly that it handles like other series.
Like the last gen car on an oval?
Yeah.
I agree because
it handles like a road course car. I mean, like a sports car would handle, like an IMSA car, like an Indy car, like an F1 car. It's just they were going too wide in chicanes where they shouldn't be able to go too wide. What made road course racing so great as a fan was the fact that you never knew if they were going to wreck or not.
Well, and we watched the replay, not the full replay before we start, but what do they call it? The interesting stuff?
Highlights.
I call it the interesting. We only had 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, after the Coke 600, we had 42-minute highlight show.
So there were no highlights in the race other than, we've been going for Suarez all year, rooting for him, hoping he gets a win. I love the storyline, but really.
Did you watch the Indy race?
The race sucked.
At Road America? So, to me, I don't really watch a lot of the Indy races full.
I had 2 days of racing.
Yeah. So, I watched the Indy race. Jimmy Johnson, first lap, third turn, spins out, gets bumped, spins out, pretty much ending his day. Joseph Newgarden brings it home, wins the race. But to me, all those cars are flying. So it's more of an out-of-control thing that makes it interesting. Maybe it's the way the TV cameras show it too. Maybe that would make road racing a little more interesting if our TV cameras did a better job of showing the racing. But whatever it is, the Indy race on road courses looks more interesting now to me than Cup races.
Have you noticed we're kind of sucking with the aerial coverage now that Goodyear doesn't send a blimp?
Well, we have a drone.
Doesn't get up as high. And we have a helicopter. We had a helicopter at the 600, but it doesn't seem to work as well. I don't know. Goodyear ought to bring in their blimps. Does the blimp have COVID?
It's on its
where's
break.
it at?
I think they shut it down. I think blimp fuel costs too much.
Oh yeah, was it 2 years ago?
They need a solar power blimp.
They were saying that. Why don't they just put in that stuff that blew up?
What?
What was it? Nitrogen? Is that why the Hindenburg blew up?
Did you watch the truck race Saturday?
I did.
Yeah, it's the first truck series race Kyle Busch has won on a road course. I did not know that. It's a 60-second victory.
And I found that kind of boring too, to be honest.
I did too. Now, Kyle Busch drove the heck out of his car. I mean,
well, and he's a wheelman. He's gonna. You know, it was interesting. He didn't complain afterwards. Did you notice that?
I mean, Ross Chastain ran well. Tom Majeski ran well. Zane Smith ran well. I mean, it was a good day for a lot of guys, but none of them keep up with Kyle. I mean,
Kyle had it dialed in.
When Kyle has it, when he's dialed in, when he's turned on and has it going, everything in the right direction for him, there's no stopping Kyle. All right, well, let's talk a little bit more about Sonoma, just a little bit. Bubba Wallace brings out the first caution of the two. One was for Bubba Wallace, maybe or maybe not having fluid on the track. The second was for debris.
Do you think it was what Tony Stewart suggested? He wore out that engine before the race?
What do you mean? In practice?
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I think it's just odd that, out of all the Toyotas, none of the Toyotas really ran good. Looking at it, I mean,
No, they didn't have a good showing.
No, Joe Gibbs' best driver was Truex, finishing 26th. Christopher Bell at 27th.
Where did Kurt finish?
18th.
Well,
so that was really the best Toyota finisher was Kurt. Am I right by that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so if I'm Toyota, I'm on the phone with Gibbs this morning going, what the hell?
Or is Gibbs on the phone with Toyota saying, what the hell?
I don't know. I think it's the other
he
way
ought
around.
To stick his
I think it's the other way
junkyard dog
around.
tie. Let him call Toyota.
Well,
Let him do it.
2022 has been a year of first-time winners. We've seen Chase Briscoe do it. Ross Chastain has done it. Austin Cindric has done it. And now Monterey's very own Daniel Suarez has won his first Cup race, giving Trackhouse Racing 3 wins of the season, and they have officially won both road course races up until this point.
You want to hear something just blow your mind?
What's that?
So he's from Monterey, Mexico, right?
Yeah.
So Monterey, California, which is just south of San Francisco, before the Mexican War.
Yeah.
That means there was 2 Montereys in Mexico, because that was Mexico. Mind blown.
How did you figure that out?
Because I know my history.
Wikipedia?
Yeah, we
Okay,
won California.
You were gonna be a
Texas.
geography teacher. That's right.
No, a history teacher.
Whatever.
Doesn't that
Geography, history, same thing.
So California was part of Mexico. So back before the Mexican War.
Back before my time.
Back before that war.
Before
yeah, I
NASCAR.
was there.
You were there?
I'm not going to do any stolen valor. I didn't fight in it. I was there.
I think Daniel Suarez is a very cool storyline, though. I like to see it. I'll be honest, man. I kind of got teary-eyed for a minute there because I was out of excitement to see him excited to win. Like, he's come so close so many times this season. He's had bad luck. I mean, if it could go wrong, it's went wrong. And then he was able to – and he didn't just win. I mean, he won in dominating fashion.
And, I heard –
What do you lead? Like 47 laps he led? Chris Buescher was hounding him.
He won that last caution,
up until the last 10 laps.
He destroyed it. I mean, he just left everyone in the dust. The other thing, and this isn't related to that race, I heard Mike Joy talking about his personal life, that he's dating Nelson Piquet's daughter.
Yeah.
And that they found a daily driver for her, a Porsche 912. Or as they say in Germany, Porsche.
What's that got to do with this?
Nothing. I just love Porsche.
So,
thought I'd throw that in there.
Is that an old car?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think it was...
I know nothing about
They had
Porsches.
to get a 67, 68, or 69, or 1976.
I know Daniel likes to fix up Volkswagen Beetles.
Well, and Porsche's just a hot-rodded Volkswagen.
So he got her the hot rod, and he'll drive the Beetle.
I think a 912 only has about 100 horsepower, so she ain't going to fly around, but she going to hug some curves. Or is he going to hug some curves?
I'm not even going to touch that one. All right.
Clint, help me, Clint.
That was it for Clint. Fox is no more. Well, for this season. That was it. No more Fox, except for the truck race.
What happened to him, though?
NBC comes back. Now, we've done discussed that.
But what's going on here?
All right.
Did Dr. Black show up with a cup?
I think Clint quit.
Think he quit?
Or got fired, but yeah. It's just weird out of nowhere. I mean, it's all...
I Googled his wife to see if there was any news with his wife.
Yeah, this is all speculation.
Cash?
100%. Everything, there's nothing in public.
Tweeting.
There's nothing in the public eye.
I really hope there's nothing wrong with him or his family.
Oh,
Because that would be horrible.
Truly, I hope that.
That would be horrible.
I hope there's absolutely nothing wrong
Or
with
even
it.
his dad, mom, just
Anybody.
his whole family.
Well,
Because
look,
I like Clint.
his dad's been quiet on Twitter. Clint's been quiet on Twitter. I mean, they've been really quiet. As of the time we're recording this, if something comes out later, then everybody will know it anyway.
I had breakfast with Clint at Talladega at the Paddock Club. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I think he quit, and he is...
She's going to Junior's Cup team.
He's
He's
going
going to
to
be involved. Aren't they buddies?
I mean,
They're about the
I would
same
say they're
age.
all friends at some point.
He ain't tight like Truex buddies, but isn't he into hunting and stuff?
Clint?
Yeah.
He just seems like he'd be too ADD to sit still to hunt.
Yeah, but that's when you just kind of take the deer out of the cage and kick it in the butt and say, Clint, shoot it.
Maybe. I still think that. I don't think he's going to NBC. Maybe he's going like PRN or MRN. I don't know.
What if they threw him in the NASCAR hub?
Well, then he would still be part of the Fox team. I don't think they would have outed him. So for him not to be there is why I say he either A, quit, or B, got fired.
Well, getting
Or
fired is
maybe-
a personal reason.
Exactly.
So, I mean, what did personal reason mean?
Or maybe something did happen. I mean, we're just speculating 1,000% here. It'll all come to light soon enough. But NBC takes over in Nashville. I will be glad to have the NBC broadcast team back. I'm sure we'll still complain about the commercials, but we do like the broadcast team over at NBC. Their camera guys do a lot better job in our opinion, so I think it'll be better.
I have an idea to fix that, too. I'm going to fix it.
ESPN?
No. You hire the right people, and they stay with NASCAR. Doesn't matter who films it. So you can get the best cameramen, best producers,
They're
best
contractors.
directors. Best booth. And they stay with them.
I'm good with that. I mean,
And then we can pick of the litter from NBC and Fox. Just, we want him. Well, I can't even think of him. Smith. What's his name?
Regan?
Yeah, keep him. Jamie Little.
Yeah.
Bring him over.
Okay, I'm good with that. Well, you're saying keep the people too.
No, we pick the best. We don't.
I don't know.
NASCAR decides.
I don't mind having the commentators change midway, but I do think the production, as far as the visuals,
They've sucked with Fox this first half.
they've sucked for 2 years with Fox. It's nothing different.
They don't even know how to follow what the people in the booth are saying.
This year was by far the worst, for that at least. So as we talked earlier, Kyle Larson loses a front wheel. That will be a 4-week suspension for the tire changer, the jackman, and crew chief Cliff Daniels. This is the 10th penalty of this type handed out by NASCAR this season. I think that's a little...
I'm getting tired of it.
Yeah. Fix it. Fix it and let's move on.
Yeah. Obviously there's a problem with the gun or the nut. It's going to be happening.
There's definitely problems. So, all right, Trackhouse has both drivers with a win. You got Ross with his COTA win. You got Suarez wins yesterday. So there's, 3 more road courses coming up? Four total.
Got a question for you.
What?
Between Chastain and Suarez, who will get further into the playoffs?
Oh, I'm going to go with Daniel.
Yeah, because he's got friends.
He hasn't pissed everybody off.
Yeah.
I
agree with you.
I feel like Ross Chastain has had the
I think some revenge will happen in the playoffs.
He's had the Colleague Xfinity Series mentality of trophy hunting. Win it, or winners or checkers or records, whatever. He's had that mentality. He's wrecked a lot of people who have long memories. And I think that's going to bite him in the butt when it comes time to a championship race.
Might get bounced out of the playoffs.
If Denny Hamlin is in 5th place,
or if he's bounced out
going into the last race before the championship,
you don't want to be Ross.
Denny will move Ross. Ross could, unless he's got a locked in with a win.
Denny's not in it.
That's what I'm saying.
He's going to move him too.
If he's in 5th place, needing to finish in 4th. To get into the final race, he's going to do what he has to do. I think Denny or
so's Chase
or any of those guys. And Dale Jr. was talking about Alan Gustafson was probably not happy with Chase for not taking Ross out.
He should have taken him out, and then there wouldn't have been a problem.
Well,
later in the
Gustafson
race.
came on the radio and told Chase to take him out.
Well, Chase has got an issue too. Half the conversation wouldn't be about what happened had he taken him out. Just my opinion. And the way he rolled over everybody at the 600. What the hell, dude? Is he on meth?
He's taking the Adderall.
Jeremy been giving him some Adderall and some Claritin D?
I just think Ross is an aggressive driver, and he's had to race aggressively. But here's the thing. If Daniel Suarez would not have won the race yesterday, or if Ross Chastain wasn't winning races, they wouldn't be able to race their way into the playoffs because their consistency's not there.
No, it's not.
I mean, Ross Chastain, he's been a little more consistent than Daniel, at least at the start of the season. Towards the end, he's slacked off a little bit. But
I think Daniel's been racing under desperation after Ross got the first win.
I agree. I think from now on out, you're going to see Daniel races with consistency when he's not overthinking it. He's been overthinking it coming into this weekend. Now he doesn't have to overthink it. So I think you're going to see more wins come out of Daniel moving forward. I think Ross is going to continue to be strong, but if Ross gets taken out by somebody else, it will not surprise me.
Brad, what happens first? Chastain gets his third win or Daniel gets his second win?
Looking at the racetracks we have coming up, I'm going to go with – I think Daniel gets the second win. I think Daniel wins at Road America.
Wow.
And then I think Ross wins at Atlanta. So I think Ross has 3 wins. I think Trackhouse Racing alone has 7 wins this season.
That makes them a powerhouse team, man. That puts them right there with Hendricks.
They already are a powerhouse team. I mean,
Joe Gibbs. Wow.
They are the powerhouse. In my opinion,
they sure have adapted well to the new car.
If they continue winning, it's just going to be bad news for the competition.
So with that said, do you think one of them has a chance at a championship?
I think they both do. I think conceivably, here's the problem though.
Does Chastain have the maturity to win a championship?
Chevy does not run as good on a flat track like Richmond or Phoenix as Ford does. I think a Ford driver wins the championship, or a Toyota. I don't think you see a Chevy driver do it because I don't think Chevy has the speed on those flat tracks. We only race it like a handful. Chevy's fast everywhere else. But to win that championship, you have to be able to win at Phoenix.
That's true. But my question is...
No, I don't think either one of them win it. I think Joey Logano wins the championship this year.
I think Ross...
And I do not like Joey Logano whatsoever.
I don't like Joey either.
Joey Logano is racing like he's going to win a championship.
I say it's going to be Bowman wins it this year.
Although he didn't finish that way yesterday. He did lead some laps yesterday, but...
So you can write that down. Bowman.
All right, well, we're off next weekend. We have no Xfinity, no Cup racing next weekend. We'll be back in 2 weeks with Nashville, but we do have Knoxville, Iowa, not Tennessee, but Iowa. Jamie, if we were going to go to Knoxville, Iowa, well, only for us because we know of Tennessee. But if we were going to go to the dirt race in Knoxville, Iowa, where would we not want to stay at, Mr. Jamie?
Well, I'm going to tell you, these Midwesterners, they don't give us a lot of drama. I saw a lot of reviews, 1 out of 5, where they just said, don't stay there. Or disgusting. But my wife's from the Midwest. They're not very talkative people. So, basically I had to go to, and I'm not from there. I'm going to read it as it spells it out to me, Des Moines, but my wife's already told me it's Des Moines. She got on to me. She's from Minnesota, and Iowa's like the next state down. She has a lot of relatives there, farming and stuff. But anyway, Shasha Rocknit, the Broadway Motel, Des Moines.
Des Moines.
But Des Moines have the S too? It's very confusing. Or is that silent like the Des?
Hey, I told you.
Des Moines.
I told you I wasn't good at math.
I'm going to go with Des Moines then.
Yeah.
Let's see if my wife hits me later. 1 out of 5. This place is an all-out, complete, disgusting ass dump. I lived off of one of the worst streets in Denver in a rundown motel room, and it was 10 times better than this place beside the Corley outdated everything. What does that mean? Corley.
Maybe it's like coral reef.
Yeah. Including the mattress, bee shampoo. What does that mean too? put shampoo in the mattress. Will strip all the color right out of your hair. Ooh, that sounds like paint thinner shampoo. And make it stick to your skin. It stinks. There's absolutely not one outlet anywhere to be found for you to plug even your cell phone and to charge extremely overpriced for the shit box they call a motel. I used to have stayed in plenty of places run down, dumped to fancy 5-star hotels. I've been all over. I love to stay motels, hotels. Doesn't really matter. They're all unique in their own way. This one, not so much. They should advertise it by the hour because it's that run down. And, well, you can't charge your phone, so you definitely don't want to stay the night. There to be a supervisor of a Marriott hotel, I stayed in plenty of places from bottom of the barrel to buy-star luxury hotels all over the United States. This one is my first that had no outlets for you to charge a cell phone. What alone dry your hair. They should rent this one out by the hour. I wish I could get a refund. This place I stayed in for 3 hours to get out of the heat, so I could get back in the car and drive because the AC went out and it was super hot. Was not worth the $60 plus tax that I paid to use mid-grade wall unit AC that barely hold me off to take a shower and have my hair stripped that I had just had done 4 days previous. Talk about expensive. The haircut's more in the room, but I'm out both my money and my hair color. I should have spent that $60 in the casino across the street and hung out for an hour instead of going to that crappy place. Woo! Wow.
Not one punctuation mark.
Is Shasha on meth?
The way you read it, it sounds like Shasha's on meth.
Shasha.
I couldn't even keep up with you.
Shasha.
So, let's...
The way you wrote this, I don't think you've ever stayed in a 5-star hotel.
Sasha is staying in an ass dump that's worse
than a shit box.
It's worse than the streets of Denver.
You've been to Denver. Were the streets that bad?
I wouldn't call the Denver streets an ass dump, but apparently it's a disgusting ass dump.
Why did she throw in supervisor of Marriott? I don't think Broadway Motel. And I looked it up.
I don't understand why she says...
It's not a Marriott. I Googled it.
An outdated mattress and the shampoo strips all the color right out of your hair.
Well, she said later she just had her hair done and the color disappeared.
Well, that's because she used paint thinner. It's an overpriced shit box that they call a motel. And she stayed in plenty of motels and hotels
5
and
stars.
lived on the streets in Denver.
She's been dumped to fancy 5-star hotels. Is there a 6-star we don't know about? She's been dumped to a 5.
I thought it said bi-star.
Well, I'm not even going to go there. This is appreciation month, though.
No, it says she had to buy a star.
Oh.
Buy, like, B-U-Y, a star.
Huh.
Maybe I think she Siri'd this thing.
Do you think maybe
I think she Siri'd it and read this.
While she was driving her unair-conditioned car,
Probably.
charging it?
So she was pissed because she's in a hot car.
Her hair color's gone.
In Des Moines, Iowa. She got no hair color left. Maybe she sweat the hair color out.
Couldn't she stop at a Love's truck stop and just get on the list to take a shower?
And she says she should have taken that $60 to the casino across the street and hung out. I bet the casino.
What was she going to buy with that $60 at the casino?
She could have played nickel slots for 3 hours. Nickel slots for 3 hours with air conditioning.
Yeah, they don't want you to leave.
It's the most comfortable environment you've ever walked into.
They don't want you to leave.
They're pumping oxygen in so she doesn't fall asleep.
Yeah, pure oxygen.
I bet they would have let her take in a shower with non-hair color stripping shampoo.
So, Shasha, I believe your rating of 1 out of 5. It's just you're explaining it confuses the heck out of me.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't fall into the...
I don't think
0-star trap, so that was a good thing.
I'm betting her parents found a way to keep her out of the mandatory schools until she was 16. I think they hid her in a doghouse in the back whenever child services showed up.
I don't know much about Iowa. So where are we going next? Uh-oh. I see
Oh,
it.
yeah. Dave's in Wyndham.
That's my favorite.
And this was Hashorama
Hasarama.
Sinju.
I think we're...
Hashorama Sinju.
You think he's
1 out of 5 on Google.
Spanish, Japanese, or Middle Eastern?
I'm going with Japanese.
Me
They
too.
probably own a factory there.
Hashirama Senju.
He might.
Hashirama Senju.
I was going to go down who.
All right, 1 out of 5.
Yeah, 1 out of 5.
Hashirama stayed at the
I
Wyndham.
don't give 1 star. I don't give 1 ass hair. But I have to.
I don't
this
give a
time.
damn.
It is a cheap place to stay. Yes, he answered it. It was like it was a question. And then he answered it. I don't mind that, but of all my cheap stay in other hotels, the fridge is working. There is water and ice. So I guess that was very important to him. This hotel gave me a broken room with no working fridge. What? He just said it was working with ice.
No, he said he stayed in other hotels
with a working fridge.
that
and
their
ice.
fridge and ice maker
right.
work. This one doesn't have a working fridge or an ice maker.
Also, no ice and water to drink. Tay, T-E-Y. Tay have vending machine that they tape the coin slot.
Well, that's because it doesn't take coins. There's nothing in there for 75 cents. It's probably $2 for a bottle of water, so use bills.
Well, that's what he said.
carries
The vending
change?
machine only takes dollar bills.
Duh.
But the front desk people will refuse to break your bill to dollars so you can use their vending machine. They probably don't own the vending machine.
Well, they probably don't own a bank. It's a hotel.
Had to go to the store just for drinks. Now,
Okay.
on top of all
That's
of
where I buy
this,
my drinks at the store.
I was put on 3rd floor. They must not have an elevator. Following day, I walk out, and a whole bunch of police were out in the hall in front of a room. They rolled out someone that is dead in one of the room. Because I came there to prep for my board exams, I just ignore everything. Then till now. Yeah, someone died in this place. Well, at least
Hey,
you
that's
checked
the
out.
first death we've had. First confirmed death in a Wyndham we've had yet.
Well, at least Hiroshima,
19 episodes.
you got to check out.
Yeah.
Like the Hotel California.
The other person
You
didn't.
check in and never leave. It is a Wyndham. You think the Hotel California is a Wyndham?
Here's my problem.
Yeah,
This whole thing failed for me. The very first statement. I don't give 1 star. He fell into the 0-star trap.
Yeah. You got
Even in
to,
Japan, even in broken English, he still fell into that 1-star trap. So, Hiroshima, Senju,
You got to give them a star.
you're fired, sir. People need to learn how to leave reviews. We should do a class.
Then we have Christy Stelzer.
Seltzer.
Seltzer. Well, it's got, I don't know.
The T's silent.
Okay.
She's Italian.
Is seltzer water from Italy? Perrier's French. That's what I thought invented it.
Yeah, that's over near there.
Well, she's at the Valley West Inn.
Oh, that sounds very nice.
1 out of 5
Oh, yeah.
on Google.
Or 1/5.
From reading the reviews, it makes me cringe. I guess she didn't read the reviews before she stayed there, like we have learned to always read the reviews. I've never stayed at this establishment, but I have an employee that stayed there, and she lost her home to a fire. And her reviews were even worse. I noticed how the owner gaslights on their responses to bad reviews, basically turning it back on the individual that gave the bad review. Well, we've experienced that at the Bud House Inn in Daytona.
Yeah, they couldn't find the holes in the wall.
Yeah, but
Because
we
they
could.
patched them up when we left.
Or do you think they really did?
Well, we posted the pictures that clearly showed the holes in the wall that he said that weren't
That
there.
they stuffed toilet paper in.
Idiots.
As I see the place is deemed unsafe by some of the customers in the comments, as I watch the news, this am I see. That's exactly what it says. This as I am see, they were actually telling the truth as the place caught on fire. And poor kids being dropped from balconies and adults jumping. My opinion is there were a lot of cries for help by vulnerable families that had nowhere to go. And this owner pretty much kept an unsafe establishment and took advantage of the ones that had nowhere to go and stay. I really hope they have a great insurance because I see big lawsuits coming. I pray for all the families that were devastated by this company. And
So she never stayed there?
Well, it looks like her employee did.
So her employee reviewed this place, but it wasn't good enough. So Karen Seltzer, she goes on.
I think Karen's her middle name. It's Christy.
Christy Karen Seltzer?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But because she said kids were being dropped from the balconies.
But she's married to a Daryl.
Probably. We saw Daryl at the Atlanta race.
He's still there.
Still hasn't come to yet.
He's still there giving Kyle Busch the finger every lap.
But here's what really happened there. Channel 13 News Des Moines.
Well, we found the news article, people.
West Des Moines, Iowa.
Ira.
A fire at Valley West Inn, a West Des Moines extended stay hotel, has destroyed the building and displaced several people. West Des Moines Fire Marshal Mike Witzel said that the West Des Moines Fire Department got a call concerning the fire at 11:16 p.m. Monday night. When they arrived, smoke and flames were emerging from inside the building. When our firefighters started getting out of the truck to go and investigate and get the fire out, we had residents everywhere. There were residents in the windows. Some of them were climbing out the windows. There were other residents that were handing our firefighters kids out of the windows. Infants and young kids.
Handing them out the windows, not tossing.
People were coming up to us reporting that other people were trapped, Whitesall said. 2 people who were inside the building were sent to local hospitals for treatment, and Whitesall said at least one of these people has been treated and released. He said half a dozen residents were treated on the scene by medics. So, it really caught fire.
But they weren't throwing babies out of 12th story windows. This is a 2-story hotel. They were handing babies out the window to the... No, the difference
the quarterback handed off babies to the running back.
Well, it's the
instead
difference
of throwing a bomb.
Reporter Bill reporting on it in the Des Moines Times versus Karen Seltzer posting it on Google. It sounds more dramatic and better. It makes a better story when you don't let the facts get in the way. Am I right?
My concern...
Never let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Yes.
Karen wrote that they were throwing babies, tossing babies out the window at the Desert Valley Inn or wherever we were at.
My concern was Brian and Jeremy there? I'm not giving last names. It's up to you to fill in the blank.
Well, it didn't say they were selling crack or meth. It said throwing babies out the window.
Or was it just Adderall and Oxycontin?
Maybe part 3 of
and
the
liquor.
Dale Jr. download is going to be Jeremy Mayfield throwing babies out the window.
You know, it sounded like Jeremy had a problem somewhere. He never admitted to any drug use. Adderall, though, you know, it has Oxycontin in it.
Adderall?
I think so.
Not Oxycontin. Adderall is an amphetamine. I took Adderall growing up. So Adderall, it is an amphetamine. So I've had ADD or ADHD or something like dyslexic. I'm something like that. But anyway.
I have all that. But the question is, why didn't Junior offer him a bottle of High Rock?
Because he has a drug problem.
But that's alcohol. It's legal. Wouldn't you have loved to heard Jeremy drunk?
Drunk Jeremy? They don't drink on. They drink on Door Bumper Clear, not the Dale Jr. download.
Maybe Jeremy needs to go on Door Bumper Clear.
All right. Well, this weekend, like I said, the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series have the weekends off. They are racing Knoxville, Iowa. That is a half-mile dirt track. Has 7 degrees of banking in the turns. It'll hold 21,000 people roughly. It is owned by the Marion County Fair Association. And the first race was in 1878. It was a horse race.
Man, that's a lot of history.
You think they had 43 horses out there?
Wow.
Wouldn't that
That's
be
as
cool?
many as cars.
That would be cool, you know?
Would they run each other over?
Have a big pile up, turn 3. Do they draft? Like one horse sticks his nose in the other horse's butt and they just go as fast as they can?
So it's what, half a mile?
Yeah.
Dirt?
I doubt they draft much on dirt, huh?
Who do you think's going to win?
This weekend?
Yep.
Zane Smith. First name that came to mind.
Ben Rhodes, buddy.
Ben Rhodes.
Didn't he win Bristol?
Stuart Friesen is one I think could win. Ben Rhodes is another one that could win. John Hunter Nemechek could win. I don't know if Kosin Harsevo, I don't think he'll be back. I hate to see that, man. I
think he'll be back.
I hated to see him get out of the car. I know it hurt. It hurt. It was hard for him to get out. So
I think he might.
You could see the emotion in him when he got out. He didn't want to get out of that car. All right. Well, I guess we have no fantasy picks because there's no Cup race next weekend. We will have an episode next week since we do have a truck race. It'll probably be a shorter episode than
probably half the time as this one.
Yeah. So.
Well, at least we had a boring Cup race.
Exactly. So,
but happy Father's Day to everyone out there that's a father listening.
Yep. Happy Father's Day, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Check us out on Twitter at Car Backwards. Follow us on Spotify. Rate us. Check us out on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review there. And don't forget to check out our website. It's racecarbackwards.com. Other than that,
well, actually, I got one last thing. I mean, for those of you that don't want to be fathers, only condoms prevent minivans. Adios, folks.
Thanks, guys. Have a good week. Thanks for listening to Race Car Spelled Backwards.